Good morning. This is the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Wednesday, June 17th. Weather-wise, we continue to have issues with holdovers over some of the recent areas that had lightning over southern Utah and parts of eastern Nevada. Now we have building heat and dryness. We also have winds expected to return over many of these areas through midweek and later on in the week. Strongest winds of 30 to 40 miles an hour over southern Idaho, parts of eastern Utah. Then we're looking at another round of lightning moving up the Sierra Front on Thursday and then expanding across parts of northwest Nevada and southwest Idaho by Friday. Could be more ignitions. Also some gusty winds ahead of that thunderstorm band across parts of southeast Nevada and southwest Utah. Again, those areas that did have some recent lightning. And with the building heat, a lot of fuels, ERCs going up to between the 90th and 97th, some even the 99th percentile. So things really drying out here in mid-June. You can check our fuels briefing video, which will be issued either later today or tomorrow morning for the latest details. Now to the impact map, we have a strong cold front barreling on in, strong winds just ahead of it and especially just behind it across parts of southern Idaho. Gusts could be up to 40 plus miles an hour. The air mass ahead of this front will be very hot, dry, also unstable. We don't have the Haynes index anymore, but the same effect of unstable conditions is possible, and a concern over some of these southern areas. The winds maybe not as strong today and tomorrow, but they're still breezy and they're still holdovers from lightning. And again, the fuels in these areas, in their southern areas, are the driest. They're near the 97th percentile or above already, so that's a big concern. Notice the isolated storms, maybe one here over the Sierra, and then starting to expand up the Sierra Front on Thursday. This is a big concern. Some of the storms further east will be extremely isolated, but then a widespread area of, I would say, a mix of wet and some dry expanding on Friday, covering much of the Sierra, northwest Nevada, going into parts of southern Idaho. And this area could be expanding further eastwards as we go into late Friday and Saturday. I'll have to watch that. So lots going on. Not much going on today in terms of precipitation or lightning. It's been a very dry week. Again, most areas having 0 to just a few hundredths of an inch of precipitation. And fire activity has definitely been picking up. You can see new fire starts in the red, recent fires in the yellow, a lot of it concentrated in southwest Utah, the Arizona Strip, and parts of southeastern Nevada where we did have the lightning, but also some new fires popping up in other areas as well as we continue drying out. The U.S. Drought Monitor showing areas of extreme drought here in the red, going from parts of Utah. And again, this is the area we had some lightning issues and some recent large fire activity. Also going up into the Owahis, where we actually have exceptional drought conditions ongoing. So again, the drought story continues. Zooming in more on finer fuels, these are the 10-hour fuels. We see areas somewhere between 3 to 5% over a good portion of Utah, and then maybe 5-6% in this area in orange, covering just about all areas here, especially where we're going to have significant winds. Southern Idaho, going into parts of Utah today, so definitely the finer fuels. Grasses are cured and ready to go. The ERC point map showing a lot of areas in orange. Now, these orange areas are 90th to 97th percentile. Areas that are in red are 97th to 99th percentile. So you can see a good portion of our southern central areas are ready to go. Even some parts of the Salmon Chalice already getting up into the 90th and 97th percentiles. So I'll have to continue watching that. Satellite imagery from yesterday, just in some of our driest areas. We had the Sawmill fire kind of blow up yesterday, got in some heavier fuels. You can see the wind flow coming out of the northwest, and just when you see the fires from outer space, you know they're significant in nature. So just so we throw that in there. Now, upper level map, we have high pressure building in, so the heat continues today, especially the further west you go in the Great Basin. Dry air mass across the region. You can see the cold front here, tighter packing of the height lines. For tomorrow, as the high slips to our east, a weak low pressure area will approach, and there's not much moisture initially with that low pressure, but as low pressure approaches, low pressure tends to make the atmosphere more unstable. So you see this area in black expand Thursday. And then This area in black starts filling in with green as this low approaches, makes the atmosphere even more unstable, combining with orographic lift. So we could see some good outbreak of thunderstorms, northwest Nevada, southern or southwest Idaho. And then looking at the 7-day fire potential, we have a lot. We have some strong winds with a cold front in southern Idaho and northeastern Nevada for today. The Bs in this orange are referred to burn environment, where maybe the winds themselves don't quite reach criteria, but we're near record heat. We have single-digit humidity. We have recent lightning strikes, so there's an added threat for fire activity in some of these southern areas today and tomorrow. Then we have that lightning threat starting to start over the highest Sierra on Thursday, and then as the low comes closer, that area expands in coverage on Friday, covers parts of Oregon as well. So we can do a deeper dive into the winds. You see the strongest winds here. These purples are gusts 40 to 45 over southern or south central Idaho, and in some parts of the Uinta Basin as well. But a lot of these oranges, 25 to 30 mile an hour winds, getting into areas that did have recent lightning. You see the humidity bone dry the next couple of days. You see these winds expand. A couple of things on Friday. These very strong winds here, these are brief winds associated with outflow boundaries from thunderstorm activity. So these aren't winds that are going to last for several hours. They could be 20-minute gusts, but sometimes that's enough. There'll be thunderstorms here, but these are the more longer duration winds here. Again, centered in areas of southern Nevada, southwest Utah, the Arizona Strip that had recent lightning, so we'd have a concern for there as well. In terms of precipitation, some of that thunderstorm activity sliding up the Sierra, expanding in coverage on Thursday. We have the high risk, some very isolated activity. A few strikes could be much further east. And then a larger area on Friday. And not all these storms will be dry, but if we get 500 lightning strikes and 300 are wetter, but 200 are drier, that's still significant over this green area here. Further down the road, things kind of quiet down. We still have some of that lightning activity pushing eastwards. On Saturday, we haven't issued high risk yet. The models are differing with how far north or south this moisture band can go, but we'll keep an eye on that. And then on Friday, high pressure starts to build back in, and we start to dry things out. You see that dry, tannish air mass overspreading much of the area of the monsoon, almost nowhere to be found. Winds, it could be locally breezy in some spots on Saturday, and then the winds gradually diminishing. Sunday and Monday as the high pressure builds in and the humidity dries out as we go through that period. Monday, single-digit humidity covering many areas, getting well up into Idaho as well. Precipitation, again, we'll have to watch this band here. We may have to issue high risk for parts of northeast Nevada or northwest Utah or far southern Idaho. Some of the stuff in the Idaho mountains should be on the wetter side, maybe a tenth or a quarter inch of precipitation. It all starts sliding eastwards and exiting early next week. So a lot going on, summing things up. We have high risk the next 3 days at least. Winds today in parts of Idaho and eastern Utah, and then burn environment for breezy conditions and record dry fuels and recent lightning down south. That continues tomorrow, and then the lightning threat starts to slowly emerge, localized to the high Sierra on Thursday, expanding in coverage on Friday. Winds ahead of that system as well, and then just typical summertime heat and dryness continues through the rest of the period. And looking down the road into the last week of June, this is for June 22nd to the 26th, big signal of above normal temperatures and drier than normal conditions for the whole Great Basin. So fire season is here, and it is here to stay. This concludes our briefing. Have a great day.